What's up, guys? It's NFL Week 15, and this is your FanDuel NFL Week 15 first look, where we go through the slate, we take a look at the matchups, and we put together a first look lineup of sorts. Of course, it is still early in the week, plenty of news to come out, but that doesn't stop us from getting prepared for the slate. Now, a lot of people are in their fantasy playoffs. Congrats to you. Hopefully you made it. Hopefully you're in there. So, but if you're not, at least we can play some DFS and still get some fantasy football action going. Now, with these videos, I always like to take a look at the matchup. So we'll go a little team by team here, kind of talk about through our thoughts from some of these games. And one that stands out really above all the rest in terms of awesomeness, but also we have the pretty interesting night game that comes on these FanDuel main slates now. So getting right into it. First up, we've got KC at the Browns, 44-point total. The Browns have been good offensively with Jameis. I'm excited for this one. KC defense also very, very good. So really, Kansas City has been existing on their defense, and no teams are putting up big numbers against these guys. So I do have concerns, but at the same time, I just love Jameis Winston, what he's been doing lately, the skill set he brings to the table. So I don't care. I'm on it. Play a little Jammo. No worries there. Next up, we've got the Ravens at the Giants. Giants rolling out Tommy Cutlets for this one, and that is a bad scene. So this is all Ravens defense, Ravens domination, Derrick Henry smash. All of that is likely to take place and more. Is it possible that Lamar Jackson just styles in this game? Yes, right? They're not going to face much resistance from this Giants team. It's going to be turnovers. It's going to be ugly. That's what I think. I don't know for sure. That's how I see it going down. So it's not usually the type of situation where I target a quarterback or pass catchers, but keep in mind that the Ravens might just style for the sake of it, but it also could be a 3-touchdown Derrick Henry affair. So a lot of potential outcomes, none of which really end well for the Giants. All right. Next up, we've got Washington at the Saints, and also Saints are officially a broken team. Their quarterback, Derek Carr, he got a broken hand. He's not going to play this week, probably. So we're going to get some backup QBs for them. It's not a good scene at all. Weirdly, I think like an Alvin Kamara still projects well. I am not going near any of that. I don't want anything to do with that team. Washington defense is the play in this one. As far as Washington's offensive players, I'm thinking Brian Robinson Jr. stands out a little bit. I mean, it's hard to know which way they'll go, but B-Rob could be interesting. All right, next up, we've got Dallas at the Panthers. And you know what? This game is pretty interesting for a 43-point total. Both defenses are pretty bad. Both offenses are pretty mid, but I think, you have the Panthers favored. They lost their backup running back last week, so it's pretty much the Chuba Hubbard show for them. And Dallas is, quote unquote, trying to see what they have in Rico Dowdle, so he's getting all the touches. So really interesting sort of, I think this game might produce some fantasy goodness. The running backs are interesting, and I even think the wide receivers. I don't know if I'm paying up for CeeDee Lamb on FanDuel on this slate, but maybe some of the cheaper Panthers pieces might be of interest. All right, next up, we've got Miami at Houston. And again, I think this game has some potential, right? Houston is a home favorite, 25-point total. Miami set at 23. We've seen Tyreek Hill heating up of late. He had a smash game last week. We'll see what he's priced at. Houston defense, not really that great. Same time, Miami defense is pretty good, but Houston's passing offense can be elite. It hasn't been great this year yet. And I actually think this might be a game where Joe Mixon is actually factors heavily into it. So Mixon on that Houston side, maybe Nico Collins. And yeah, I like this game. I think it's one to target. Jets at the Jaguars. The Jets are going to go super under the radar, as they always do, because they kind of stink. But you know what? Aaron Rodgers playing a little better. He's slinging it to Devontae. Devontae Adams could easily get a touchdown here. Jets running backs are super cheap. Do I like it? No. Braylon Allen split with Isaiah Davis last week, and it was just not a good scene for fantasy production. But this is the Jaguars, and teams can just go bananas on them. They don't play good defense. Don't forget that the Lions put up a monster score against this team just a few weeks ago. And this is a possibility where these Jets wide receivers could do well under the radar. No one really talking about them. I think that might be something, an interesting tournament tactic this week. Next, we got the Bengals at the Titans. Similar situation. I mean, actually, I think the Titans could maybe be a little more competitive. Bengals defense, not that good. So maybe this opens up the door for the Titans to kind of play it competitive. I don't know. In competitive games this year, the Bengals have absolutely shined. Yeah, Burrow, Jamar Chase, all super in play. This one doesn't come off as spike to the upside, but you never know. So I think this is a tournament kind of a game more than anything else. Chase Brown stands out on the Bengals side as an all-purpose play, though, and he'll be one of the better plays on this slate. Patriots at the Cardinals. Cardinals with a big 26-point team total. Game total set at 46. Now, nothing really popping for me. Patriots defense is bad, so Cardinals offense could shine. James Conner, Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride. Where did the points come from? Don't know. All right, now we get to the juicy one, the best one, the precious game of the week. Bills at the Lions, 54.5-point total in the dome, weather controlled, on the carpet, high-paced teams. This is the game of the week. This is one of the best games on paper of the season, one of the highest totals of the season. This is the game we are going to be building around today. On pieces from the best game. I mean, come on, right? 54 points. This could be one of those games that just explodes. That's what we have to load up on. They're never owned enough, these kind of games. People always look for other ways. So we are not going to do that. We're going to focus on this game and try to smash. All right, so a couple of the games to talk about here. Colts at the Broncos. Not a whole lot to like there. Just, maybe some pass catchers on both sides or something. Not much to like. Steelers at the Eagles. This could be a really competitive matchup. Eagles are just pretty much just doing it all with Barkley and, Hurts tush pushing his way into the end zone. More of the same. Fine. Does it stand out? No. Steelers games have been low scoring, but then there was that crazy game against the Browns. So you never know what's going to happen with these teams. But I actually think just Eagles defense will be able to control this one. And I don't think we're going to see some explosive game. So for the most part, I'm going to be staying away from that one. Bucks at the Chargers. What are the best things about the Bucks team this season? They produce a lot of offense, and their defense is terrible. Can the Chargers take advantage of that? I'm not sure. They're down some players. Will Dissly's out now. Ladd McConkey. Let's see what's going on with him. If Ladd McConkey plays, I love the spot for him. But he's got the Q tag, so we'll have to see what happens there. Quentin Johnston's just so bad that it's really difficult for me to want to play him. But if Ladd was out, we were almost forced to play some Quentin Johnston in like the ultimate matchup. But man, it is not pleasant to click that button with the way that he plays. On the Bucs side, let's see what's going on with Bucky Irving. Bucky on the Bucs. Is he going to play? I don't know. If he's in there, I'm kind of interested. Beyond that, it's just Mike Evans and Rashad White be interested if Bucky White's out. So again, the Chargers not a team I usually try to target with opposing offenses. They play a slower type of game, but in this case, it is the Bucs, and you could see some fireworks here. So there are some pieces from the Bucs that I might have some interest in as we go through the pricing and the salaries and the positions. Finally, Sunday Night Football. We got the Packers at Seattle, with the Packers coming in as road favorites, and lots of weapons on both of these sides that could be of interest. If Walker is out again, I'll be right back on the Sharp bandwagon like we were last week. Smash. On the Packers side, Josh Jacobs has been on fire. You can't ignore this. He's been spectacular. So he's somebody that I see as a priority, especially as a favorite to get into lineup. So we'll try to squeeze him in one of these lineups this week as well. All right, let's get into it and jump over to FanDuel, and we'll kind of take a look. We'll get a feel for what these guys did last week, what they've been up to. But right off the bat, I see my guy, Josh Allen, priced the highest on the slate. It's going to be difficult to afford this, but oh my goodness, he's coming off a 55-point game. What? And this game has that kind of potential as well. So I would just stick with what is working. I'm going right back to Josh Allen in our first look. There's not a ton of running quarterbacks that I love. There's some other ones that I like, though, and I want to go through the whole list so we can identify a few other ones to target for NFL Week 15 They might not make the primary lineup, but you can't always spend $9,500, and we shouldn't always spend $9,500 on a quarterback. They need to smash in order to pay off on that. Josh Allen can do it. This is that kind of spot, but there are other quarterbacks that could smash as well. So let's talk about a few of them here. Lamar Jackson, I'm just going to favor Josh Allen here. Lamar has a much easier matchup. It does not scream ceiling game at all. Same for Jaden Daniels. This does not scream ceiling game to me. At New Orleans, a broken team, no quarterback. So I don't see New Orleans putting up a lot of points. I don't see Washington needing to answer all that much. Again, same with Lamar. I think Baltimore is going to dominate the Giants defensively, and Lamar won't need to do much. Could he still throw for 5 touchdowns in a game? Of course. Can he run for 3? Yeah, I mean, he could smash just because he's Lamar Jackson, but I don't like the spot per se. Joe Burrow at Tennessee. Yeah, it's okay. I think this one has some pop possibilities. Again, he's a little expensive for me relative to, like the Josh Allen zone where you're almost guaranteed a big game. So I'm just going to favor Josh Allen there. Similar, Jalen Hurts also, slow opponent in the Steelers. I think the game could blow up, but I don't think it's super likely to, because the Steelers play a slow type of game. They want to run the football. Eagles play really good defense. So this could be one of those kind of games. Tua at Houston. I do like that spot for Tua. He's a little priced up here on FanDuel at 8,300. So tough to want to pull that trigger as well. Notice, this feels like the week of just play Josh Allen. Maybe we just do that. Maybe we just YOLO it. No, there are some plays lower down. But I think if we're going to spend up, we're going to spend up for Josh Allen. Jared Goff, the other side of that game, that could work out. Sure. That could work. Again, I'm going to prefer the pay up, but, Josh Allen, Goff might need a lot in this one to get there. But, I'm favoring Allen here. Mahomes at Cleveland, not super interested there. Kyler Murray, yeah. Kyler Murray could pop here in this spot as well. He could pop at any time. He just needs to run more. So in these games where he doesn't run a ton, he tends to not score that much. And his average, he's just been good, but not great. He's not winning tournaments for the most part this year, outside of maybe one game that I can recall. So, not super excited about Kyler. Yeah, how many league game, tournament winners? 1, 2, 3, and even these were not necessarily that amazing. They just kept pace. So he has not crossed 30 yet. Obviously, I said that about Sam Darnold last week, and then he went nuts. So you never know. But I'm just saying he hasn't been this slate breaker so far. Baker at the Chargers. Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind Baker. He's been pretty good. Bo Nix at home against the Colts. This might be interesting as a pay down option. So as we get to this cheaper salary level for these quarterbacks, that's for me where they become a little more viable, because I just think if they're floating too close to the Josh Allen price tag, I'm just going to end up defaulting to paying all the way up in that great matchup. But I think there is benefit to saving, $2,000. I think there's big benefit because you're going to get a much better set of players when you have this extra money to spend. So this is an area where I think we need to concentrate. I think Bo Nix is very viable at 7,600. No, the Colts are not that good, and Nix has a few games where he's popped for over 30. So I don't think we should ignore that. Really good spot at home for Bo Nix. Probably less excited about Anthony Richardson facing the Denver defense, but so what? This guy can run. It doesn't matter. He can run for touchdowns. When he's scoring well, he's scoring touchdowns, 28 points. So Anthony Richardson will be in the mix. Justin Herbert. All right, this is another one. I'm worried about the ankle. I'm very concerned. But if I wasn't concerned, this is the Bucs. This is a team where you want to target quarterbacks against. So I like Justin Herbert. I don't like the ankle situation. If he's going to be chalk, I'm out. Just like last week was chalk. Nope. But if we can get low-owned Herbert, interesting. Let's see if we have ownership projections. We do. Let's see what. Yeah. No. With the ankle, Herbert is projecting as the highest owned guy. This is what I'm saying. There's edge to this. We'll see. All right, we'll see. But that seems kind of weird. That seems kind of sketchy here on FanDuel. We'll see. Maybe there's not enough salary. Maybe you have to pay down. But Josh Allen not highly owned, and Justin Herbert highly owned. Okay, interesting. People don't know who to play this week. Is that what's going on? I think we're going to be able to get really, really unique in big tournaments. We'll talk about that on Tournament Tactics. All right, CJ Stroud. Yeah, he hasn't really had many good games this year, so I'm not going to get excited about it. Jordan Love, I think the potential is there, so I don't mind him at 7,400. Hasn't gotten it done of late, but he certainly can. Russ, no. He's missing. I don't think George Pickens is going to play. That's a disaster. Gino really hasn't gotten it done for me either. It's been a while. Yeah, he does pop once in a while, but it's few and far between. So tournament only for him. Aaron Rodgers also. I mean, it's such a good matchup, but is 20 enough? Maybe. Probably gets you 20, 18. Is it enough at 7K? Maybe. The guy who stands out to me a little bit here is there's some few. So I think this is where we want to be. But Jameis Winston, again, tough defense with KC, but I don't care. It's Jameis Winston, and bad game, good game. He slings it. 58 targets, 41 attempts, 46, 46, 41. This guy's been slinging it. I want quarterbacks to throw it 40 times a game. So I'm going to take the good with the bad, and I'll play lots of Jameis Jamo this week for sure. We played a ton of Jameis last week as well. I mean, he did what you wanted. He threw it 41 times, got some touchdowns. It was a tough matchup, but didn't break the slate. But he was very, very cheap, and I think this matchup he could do a little bit better. Drake May, no. Bryce Young, probably not. Has he had a good game? He did have the one. Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one. Yeah, and I'm not a Will Levis guy. Will Levis was chalky last week, and this is what he does to you. Come on, guys. Come on. It's enough. It's enough. Stop it. Stop doing that. It's enough with this guy. The more ownership he has, the worse of a play he is. He's the fourth highest owned quarterback and fifth. Come on. And Lamar, are you guys crazy? Come on, man. This is ridiculous. All right. Well, now that I see we have ownerships, we can actually shortcut the running back position by, listen, here's a little cheat code. Ownership projections will identify some of the best plays. The key with ownership projections is knowing when to fade the bad high ownerships. So let's see what we got here. Chuba, sure. Saquon, great spot. Chase Brown, yep. Rico Dowdle, yep. So Derrick Henry, if you can afford him, of course. Joe Mixon, a lot of the names we mentioned in the initial breakdown. If Charbonnet is the starter, oh my goodness, we're loading up on that, right? So let's see what's going on with Walker. I heard that there's a chance he's going to play, but day to day, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, if we can get Sharps again, I'm very excited about that. So, we're going to load up on that if we can get it. Chase Brown, go right back to some of these good plays. Jacobs there. Okay. All right. So, with that being said, let's dive into the running back position. And, of course, I want to play Saquon. He's in a great spot. He's going to smash. But, if we're starting with Josh Allen, I think it will be exceedingly difficult to pay this much for a running back. So, I'm going to avoid it for now. If we have extra left over later, come back to it. Same with Derrick Henry. This could be one of those spots where Derrick Henry gets us that 28, that 30, that monster score that we know he has in him, right? This is the kind of spot that it's an absolute destruction game against the Giants, and Henry could just style. I don't see the Giants stopping him. The only thing I see holding him back is the Ravens themselves. Yeah, Joe Mixon in a good spot. I'm going to avoid Kamara here. I don't get it. So he's, underdog, gross. Home underdogs are the worst. Devon Achane, yeah, playable here at Houston. Certainly has monster scores. Even FanDuel scores him well, but he remains more of a DraftKings play for me. James Cook, 8,300. Yeah, just the tournament play. But I do like Josh Jacobs. If I could afford Josh Jacobs, I'm very interested. I mean, this guy's been a touchdown machine lately, and now he gets a much, much easier matchup at Seattle. This is just one I don't want to turn down, but I think the first one we want to click on here is Chase Brown. The points have just been there. The touchdowns are there. So I like Jacobs. I like Chase Brown. Any one of these guys would make a good anchor at running back. And remember, FanDuel, we really have to build around running backs. So as much as possible, we want to try to get running backs that are going to score some touchdowns, that are going to do some good. But also keeping in mind that running back is a spot where we can get touchdowns and all of that. That's probably a spot where the cheaper players are more viable, and we can never just spend it all. So we have to make these concessions. Looking through some more, I like Chuba Hubbard here. Carolina at home. There is no competition for touches, and his volume is crazy. You almost have to play him. Buck, you don't know if he's going to play. B-Rob is an interesting play as well. With Eckler on the shelf, Brian Robinson, now he's not getting all the carries. They have another guy they're bringing in, but that was a little bit of blowout run as well for Chris Rodriguez. So I do think that Brian Robinson could have a really good game. He can catch some passes. I think he's a very, very sharp play, very smart play this week. Brian Robinson Jr. also, Rashad White, also really good. If Bucky Irving is out, why not? But the next guy I'm interested in is Rico Dowdle. And Rico Dowdle is pretty much doing the same thing as Chuba, which is getting all of the touches for his team. So I like a volume guy against a terrible rush defense. This just stands out as a really good play. So that's our trio of running backs: Brown, Hubbard, and Dowdle. We could switch in so many other good plays here. Brian Robinson works. And of course, up top, Derrick Henry and Saquon, if we can get there. I'll try to swap up from one of these guys if we can, but it's unlikely. Some other running backs of note. If Charbonnet starts, then he would become a priority play for me. So Charbs, it becomes a priority play if he starts. At this point, we don't know. Tyrone's been my guy, but not this week. Baltimore, tough opponent. Braylon Allen with the Jets, I almost want to go back to it. I probably will go back to it a little bit. I don't trust him, but if you see what he did last week, he got work. 11 carries, 5 targets. It was very upsetting that they kind of split it with him and Davis almost down the middle. Davis also had a great game, and Braylon Allen had a good game. Listen, he had a good game. It wasn't great. 5 targets, only 43 rushing yards. Not terrible. No touchdown. It was fine. He needs the touchdown. This is FanDuel. If you don't score a touchdown, you're worthless. You're worthless. You're dead to me if you don't score a touchdown. Etienne, no. Edwards, no. Even Javonte. What the hell? I can't trust Javonte Williams, but, maybe, right? He's not, I don't know. It's a great matchup for him, but I don't know. All right, moving on. Let's talk about some of the other positions. Let's jump to defense. And again, I'm going to take a look here and see who is popping on the current ownership projections. Giants, yeah, right. Unfriend you. Baltimore, I like them. Panthers, maybe, right? Saints, no. Patriots, maybe. Titans, no. So ownership projections are stupid. Right now, people don't know how to choose a defense. You just play anything. So we're not going to do that. Let's start at the bottom, and we're going to pick out what I'm going to call our cheapest viable, which we'll plug in. But then I'm going to talk about some of my favorite defense plays on the slate. So Giants, no. Patriots, no. Titans, really no. I guess maybe, I'll call them the cheapest viable. If I had to pay all the way down, it's the Titans. Now, do I like it? Absolutely not. Bengals offense has been playing great. I don't want to do this. But if I just wanted to say punt it away, I don't care. That's probably the way I'd go. For a couple hundred, though, more, Panthers are up against a rookie or a let's call it an inexperienced quarterback in Cooper Rush. So maybe, Dallas has been defense. So, if I needed to pay all the way down, maybe them. I think the better one would be the Dallas side of this one. Just Dallas defense is pretty good, and they're up against Bryce Young, who's been playing better. So it's not a play that I'm excited about. But if I had to pay all the way down, it's probably Dallas at the Panthers, because we know the Panthers are not that good. Miami, no. Seattle, no. Buffalo, no. Detroit, no. Bengals, yes. So the next level up here, and actually I think it's a better play, is Bengals defense, because they get to go up against Will Levis. Bengals defense, not that good this year. Doesn't matter. Will Levis is very generous to opposing defenses. He does throw plenty of interceptions, but there's more. There's more good ones. There's more good ones. No. And no. We got to pay all the way up. And that is how FanDuel works. They do understand pricing really well. So the best ones are up top here. Commanders at the Saints, backup quarterback. That's a smash. Broncos taking on Anthony Richardson. Sure. Jets at Jacksonville against Mac Jones. Yes. And of course, the best of the best, Ravens facing Tommy Cutlets. Doesn't get better than that. If we want to pay up, that's how we'd go. So for now, I'm plugging in the Bengals. They're taking on Will Levis. We've been attacking Will Levis with opposing defenses all season long. Dom Station, tight end position, sort by ownership. Let's see what's going on. Here we go. So the first thought here, it looks like, is to punt the spot with Hunter Henry. I like it too. Yeah. Okay. He's the chalk, and rightfully so. Some good ones. McBride. Listen, I'm having a hard time at this point with Kelsey, but he is priced really appropriately. Ertz has had good games. Kraft has had good games. Ferguson is in a good spot. I really like Ferguson there. If I want to pay a little bit off, actually, I think we will. Laporta at 6K. Don't mind that one bit. Touchdown score. Good matchup. So a lot of good and a nice bring back. So let's take a look at the tight end position. Let's look at our salary remaining. Oof, it is not looking good. We're down to $59.50 per position. So we're not going to be able to spend a ton here. We have to pay down at tight end with this amount of salary left. So I'm going to plug in Ferguson, Jake, big dog Ferguson. There are some cheaper ones. Even if we wanted a crazy punt this spot, Stone Smart at 4,500 got a couple targets when Disley came out of the game last week. That's not the worst play in the world. You know, if I needed another 1,000, I guess. But let's plug in Jake Ferguson and see if we can make a lineup built around what will have to be 3 very low-cost wide receivers. This is kind of what happens if we want to pay up for Josh Allen and also kind of pay up for a running back here in Chase Brown. So let's see if we can make it work. Again, quick notes here. Jamar Chase, great, fine. You know, Nico Collins, always a good play. Tyreek Hill, I like him quite a bit if we can afford him as well, especially in this matchup. I really do like Tyreek, and I want to play plenty of him. Amon-Ra, beautiful comeback on this Josh Allen game stack with Detroit. So if we had 8,500, yeah, but of course we don't. So we'll have to go with the poor man's version of Amon-Ra, so to speak, in maybe Jameson Williams. But CeeDee Lamb, okay, fine. Evans, you know, whatever. McLaurin, whatever. You know, these are just okay. They're all fine. I like Devontae Adams, though, here. He's been putting up touchdowns, and, you know, it's an easy matchup, 7,900. So that could work. Higgins, no, not in that spot. Smith, not really. Metcalf hasn't gotten it done in a while. Wilson, sure, 7,400, also very viable. McConkey, if he's healthy, we should really be playing some McConkey. So a couple of, you know, this is a guy, I want to almost put him in here. If he's healthy, this is a great spot. I love the matchup. Tampa's terrible, but we don't know if he's healthy, so I'm going to leave it off for now. Khalil Shakir, also good pairing potentially with Josh Allen, though I have a different player in mind for him. Jerry Jeudy's been really good with Winston. I'm definitely interested in him this week. Although the return of Cedric Tillman gives us another piece from that team that could be interesting. Brian Thomas, not really. Jaden Reed, man, how do you get a 0? How about this guy? How about this guy as chalk? 0. Now, this is the week after the 0 disaster. This week, he's going to pop. That's how it goes. I'm going to be like, I can't play him. He stinks. Sick of that shit. And then he's going to pop. That's when it's going to happen. Mark it down. Write it down. Mark my words. Marvin Harrison, also, yeah, I think that's fine. Targets, not always there. Scoring, not always there, but the pricing has come down to a reasonable level, so I'm fine with it. I don't mind DeAndre Hopkins, but I think we got to roll with Jameson Williams. We got to have a bring back for Josh Allen in this game stack. I don't mind Jameson Williams, touchdown scorer, fine by me. Do we have enough salary to make it work? I think so. We'll see. It's Michael Pittman. No. Maybe. Ooh, okay. All right. I know where we're going. But Christian Watson, yes, always viable. Always viable. This guy is a touchdown scorer. He's a touchdown machine. 14.5 with no touchdown last time out. Give him a touchdown. Give me some 20, bro. For 6,200, I really quite like that quite a bit. We're going to plug him. Ooh, wait a minute. Jeez. Couldn't do it. We're going to have to do something different. Wanted Watson, not going to work. Tank Dell, okay. Thielen, yeah, I like Thielen as well. This is a good matchup for Carolina at home. We already have a piece from Carolina, but Thielen is the man on this team. Like, he is the only game in town. As a matter of fact, I am plugging in Adam Thielen in this first look lineup. He's too good. When he's healthy, they just target him like crazy, and that's what we're looking for. And to close this one out, I'm going to go with Amari Cooper paired up with Josh Allen. Take a look at all these targets. Last week, I loved Amari Cooper, played a ton of him. Didn't work out. 6 receptions, 95 yards. But this guy was on the verge. 14 targets, 5 more yards for the bonus. Imagine he got a touchdown. He would have put up 22, 23. He would be the chalkiest player on the slate. Now, I don't even think anybody's playing him. Let's see. Please, no. Right? Don't show up top. Nope. Look, you can barely find him all the way down there. That's what I like. Give me some low-owned Amari paired up with Josh Allen. All right, so here we have it. Your FanDuel NFL Week 15 first look lineup. Josh Allen, correlated pair with Amari Cooper. We're bringing it back with Jameson Williams for a game stack in the best game of the week. At running back, we've got a combination of Chase Brown, who's a volume machine, Chuba Hubbard, no competition for touches at home, and Rico Dowdle, also monster volume in a perfect matchup against the 32nd ranked run defense. At tight end, we've got Jake Ferguson here, who is a solid punt play, just basically paying down, trying to save some money on the tight end position, but in a great matchup against Carolina, and also correlated with Carolina's Chuba Hubbard. So we've got a little mini stack built around this game with Ferguson, Dowdle, and Hubbard and Thielen. So we've got this sort of really exciting build around for this Dallas-Carolina game that just found its way into the lineup due to value. At defense, we've got the Bengals going up against Will Levis, the turnover-prone Will Levis, the team that has been the most generous to opposing defenses all season long. So there you have it, NFL Week 15. I really like this approach. We're going to build around Josh Allen. We're going to build all different kinds of stacks around that game and find some secondary pieces to fill it all out. Good luck this week. Helmets up, everyone.